I remember when I first walked into a youth session and I was definitely very overwhelmed, and it was just like very like anxiety and everything. And then I met you and I was definitely like really scared because it's like a new person, but you just seemed really nice. There was just no pressure to be anything but just myself or to like achieve anything. Just be here and be yourself.
The first time I did it, I didn't know what to expect. I didn't know, like, it was very unusual at first because I've never experienced like having a one-to-one person and talking to someone about like my feelings and what I'm going through and stuff like that. But when I started, I really liked it because they kind of distract you with the food and they're like, talk to me and I'll give you some food. And then I was like, oh, okay, you got me our food. So I really enjoyed that. I never really had like a male therapist, but when I started talking to you at first and you were doing like what's your name and all that kind of stuff, it was really nice to see someone who looked like me as well.
Yeah.
I think the more time I spent with you, I realised you weren't like a lot of teachers I'd seen before and like other professionals and stuff that were just doing their job and like ticking on boxes on a bit of paper, like, well, I worked with this person. You definitely felt more like you cared and there was more of like a relationship. I think it kind of really helped me to discover myself more and about my identity by meeting like all these new diverse groups of people. And I think it made me realise I was a lot more sociable than I thought. I just had never had the right environment where I felt like I was safe and I wasn't going to be judged, and people around me were just kind and thoughtful.
It was amazing. I've met so many different people and we've all became like one big friend group. Working with you and helping me with my cognitive behaviors and my mindset. Like, I know I'm feeling this and it's valid, but I need to think like of the better things and think of the more positive things that are going around me and not to indulge myself into that negative thought.
In general, I felt a lot more confident in myself and just better. And it was kind of the first time I'd been in like a queer space where it wasn't pressure and it was just safe, and it made me feel seen and not alone.
Before I started working at CYN, I met like a youth worker that I worked with when I was younger as well, when I was about, I think, 14, 15. So I bumped into him when I was like a little bit older. This one after I finished uni, and I just thought to myself, hey, you know what, I think it would be nice to find a way to give back to the youth, and I enjoy it as well. And you know, youth worker helped me to get here, so I was like, you know what, it's just a way to give back.
A lot of youth work for me is influenced by my younger years and spaces that I didn't have. I think the way I've kind of thought about it before, I've turned kind of maybe my wounds or maybe the sad parts of my teenage years into something that makes life a little bit better. When we first met, there was the nervous, apprehensive Jess. There was the Jess who was figuring things out. And then a year down the line, you're at the We the 33 Youth Voice event where there's local politicians, heads of service, and all these kind of people with power who probably don't see that many young people in this way. And you're there delivering one of the most profound, powerful and moving speeches in the most quite assertive manner and very, very genuine in what you're saying. And I remember crying loads because it just like, it worked, or like just, yeah, these relationships work. And is there, I guess, anything you'd like to tell me as your youth worker about this time?
I guess just thank you. I think you've done a lot more for me than you think you have.
It's a lifelong one-to-one.
Yeah.
So it's like, it's easy for me anyway. So yeah, I'm just glad to be part of the process. You know?
I'm glad to acknowledge this person.
So yeah, it's been beautiful.
Thank you for coming to the group, for coming as you are, and not trying to be anything else, and not trying to engage when you didn't want to, because you taught me a lot about how to do youth work.
Thank you.
Thank you.